What's up, everybody? It's your boy Robbie, and I'm back again with another episode. Today we will be discussing a few topics. They're all gonna circle around and dabble with the same topic, basically, but it's gonna be a few different subtopics equal into one, so you'll understand more by the end of the episode. A few updates with my life currently. I've cut down my roster a bit. Actually, one of the people I cut down on my roster is a good example of what I'm talking about in this case. Yeah, I've cut down my roster, so I've made room. I made room for myself. There's no more people who can get on my roster. I don't even really have a roster at this point. I've cut it down so many times. Like, this ain't even the first person I've cut off. I've cut my roster down so many times that at this point, I don't think I have a roster. I just have, just leave it at that. I don't have a roster. Linkinwitrobby. So dude hit me in my DM, right? And I'm just like, all you niggas freak out, and that's just all it is. First off, girl, fuck him. And you are now listening to Linkinwitrobby. So there's this gay debate going on right now where people are in our LGBT community, mainly black community that is, are discussing whether it's hard or if it's not hard as a masculine bottom dating. Now, I wouldn't identify myself as a masculine bottom. One, I'm not a bottom. I'm versatile. In addition to that, I don't identify as masculine or feminine because I fall somewhere in between somewhere, and I don't really get into the whole nitty gritty of where I fall because I think I have my masculine moments and I have my feminine moments. I'm in there somewhere, I just don't know where. Needless to say, I don't give a fuck when I'm meeting somebody. But this fellow, based what this is based upon, artist and YouTuber Triple Plugged is sparking a conversation after sharing his struggles while dating. Now, pause. He's a very interesting, attractive man. Trust me, very, very attractive. He does identify as LGBTQ as well as us, so he is gay. But the thing with him, he identifies as a masculine bottom. And within these videos, he spoke on his troubles as a masculine bottom where he's had trouble meeting other guys where he felt comfortable enough to submit to because they weren't as masculine or they weren't more masculine than he was. Now, let me stop there. Basically what he's saying is he will meet a guy, maybe he'll meet him at the club, or he'll meet him here, he'll meet him there, whatever the case may be. He'll meet them, and they may, from the surface, look masculine, or they may portray themselves in the image of masculine to whatever that definition is to him. He didn't really go into depths of what masculine really, really is to him. He spoke on surface level things. So basically to him, if he see this guy, and I guess he's coming off as rough around the edges, but when he finally is around this guy and this guy lets his wall down or he gets comfortable, the guy then is showing feminine traits and that turns him off. And I guess what he's saying in layman's terms is that he's not able to submit himself to even bottom for the guy because he's like, I'm not going to bottom for a guy that's more feminine than me. Now, as problematic as all that is, because all of that is some problematic shit. Because if you really, really think about it, we're all gay men. So all of us are going to have some type of feminine trait to us. I am sorry. Some of us are going to have feminine traits. Some of us are going to have, more masculine traits. But to say that you're not willing to submit to somebody because they're not masculine enough for you is crazy. Because what you're saying, you're asking from them to be, you want them to be masculine 24/7. You don't want them to ever show any feminine traits, basically. Any feminine characteristics. in order for you to be submissive enough so you can show your feminine traits. You see how that becomes an issue? Because I'm not going to ask my partner to do anything or expect anything from my partner that I can't do. I'm not going to tell my partner, you need to be as masculine as possible, but then also say it so I can be able to relax and be submissive to you. That's what I got from that. So, aside from that, he also was saying how because of this, he normally dates DL guys, right? Who got kids and wives because they appear or they fit the description of masculinity to him. Here's my second issue with that. So what you're saying is you would rather date a guy who can never be fully with you. He can never be fully committed to you, sweetheart. So you'd rather date this guy versus someone else who's probably able to be a better partner for you. But because they're feminine and the other guy is more masculine, you'd rather be betrayed. Now, I'm not going to knock him too much because when I was in like 9th grade, yeah, I wanted the same thing. Yeah, I wanted the same thing. But I was in the fucking 9th grade. I'm not in the 9th grade right now. And a man in his 30s sitting up here saying that he would rather date a DL guy because he portrays himself more masculine. But you're forgetting the main thing. Like, bro, if the dude is DL, it's because he's not comfortable being with himself. He's not comfortable in his sexuality, whether that's because he don't want to hurt anyone or because he doesn't want to disappoint anyone or if it's just his own reflection on himself. He's not comfortable. So you'd rather date somebody uncomfortable than to date somebody that's in their own skin and owning themselves because it makes you uncomfortable, which means you're not comfortable in your skin. It's the craziest thing. And it became this whole gay debate because you got some people leaning on one side that's like, yeah, I feel the same way. You ain't going to be feminine climbing on my back. And then you got some people on the other side that's like, you sound like a bitch saying that. So how can you expect me not to be a bitch and you being a bitch? It's the craziest thing because since I can remember, since I've ever been a part of the gay scene, since I've ever came out or involved myself with the community, this has always been a debate. This ain't a new debate. This has always been a debate that's always going on. And I used to share some of the same opinions with people that feel like I want somebody more masculine than me. I want to date a guy. But as I've gotten older, my mind is expanded. Like, I've expanded my viewpoint on what I think masculinity looks like. I don't think it's as surface level as some people think. And I don't think being feminine is as surface level as some people think. There's levels to both of it. Now, that is something he did say that I did agree with. There is levels to femininity and there is levels to masculinity. But I don't focus on those compartments when I'm meeting somebody to date. If I am just fucking, I may focus on those departments because I'm just trying to get my rocks off. I'm just trying to get my nut. I'm not really trying to date or be in love with you for a long term. So if you masculine enough, yeah, let's go ahead and do this thing. If you feminine enough, let's go do this or whatever. Okay. But if I'm trying to date you, that's not what I'm looking for in a partner. What I'm looking for in a partner is your values, your real character traits, who you are as a person, what you want, and what you're looking for in a partner so I can make sure I meet that. That is what I'm focusing on when I'm dating people. Not whether you're masculine or if you're feminine. So the fact that that is such a strong component for people to focus on when they're dating somebody is why so many people end up in these situationships or they live in these, they live and they succumb to these terrible, terrible, terrible relationships that they claim they want to be in. I don't know. That was just that topic. That was just that little subtopic that I seen going around and the girls was arguing about it. I seen everybody fighting about it. Everybody was on one side or the other. And I just want to get my little tidbit on it. And since I'm talking about masculine bottoms, I want to talk about Lil Nas X. I think he's having an identity crisis in a way. And not something deep, very deep. I think it's just a part of his identity as an artist. That's what I mean by identity crisis. I think he's trying to figure out what he wants to be like. I do see a lot of the straight community not believe he's really gay. And I think the reason why they perceive it that way, because I do believe he's gay. I believe him when he says he's gay. I mean, I know he's gay. I do believe he forces some stereotypes on himself to be perceived that way. I don't believe, because he's so much of a troll. It's a lot of things he does. How can I put this? Due to Lil Nas X being such a troll, a lot of things he does comes off inauthentic. So, with that being said, with his new song and all the new releases he's got right now, it's giving. I see what he's going for. It definitely has more of an urban sound, and he's also leaning more into being queer. Now, here's the thing. I don't always buy it when he pulls the feminine route. And I also don't buy it when he pulls the thug route. I think he may just be a regular guy that doesn't fit a lot of stereotypes day to day. And that for his portrayal as an artist, he tries to dig deeper and do a little bit more and add razzle dazzle to it to make him look extra more than what he already is. It doesn't bother me. I don't think he's actually super feminine as he tries to put himself as to be. And I think that's why people don't believe that he's gay, because they don't believe he's feminine. I don't believe he's super masculine either. I think he's just in between somewhere, like probably how I identify, just somewhere in between, not really too far either or. Some may say one way over the other, but then there's others that could argue the opposite. So that's how I feel about him, and I think he's forcing it a bit for a lot of these songs. Like his new song Hot Box, I actually like it. It's kind of, Lil Nas X is a barb, so anything that when he raps and it gives me Nicki, I'm gonna like it a little bit. I'm a barb, I'm gonna like it. But the image and the Dream Boy whole thing he's giving, I do want to see where he's gonna go with it. He's a very attractive young man, trust me. He's aware he's attractive. And I want to see where he goes with his image. I want to see where he goes with his sound. If he digs a little deeper into the gay roots, or if he leans more on the hetero side, where he's really going to fall with this album, what he's really going to do, what is he going to push as far as stereotypes, and if he's going to do anything to break them, or if he's just going to lean into stereotypes. It seems like he's going to lean into them, but I will be glad to sit back and see. I hate when people do that, but I will be glad to see if he leans into the stereotype versus going against it. Yes, I did segue from masculine bottom to Lil Nas X, because I think that's what he tries to be. I think he's somewhere in between the masculine bottom and a regular degular bottom. I'm pretty sure he's a bottom. But yeah, that's what I get from him. Because the Hot Box song he got, I do like it. And I like the video he got for it. I see what he's going for. He didn't want to go too hard with the gay stuff, but it's very gay. It feels like one of his gayest videos, even though he's had gayer. I don't know if that makes sense. But it just feels very, maybe it's because it's more urban leaning, and the way he has it looking, it's kind of cute. I like how it blends. It gives me masculine bottom. That's what I get from that video and that song. Hit me with your loving, that's how it sounds in my head. I don't know what words he's saying, but I love it. Hit me with your loving, something like that. I like the song Hot Box. I'm ready to see what else Lil Nas X got to do for us. We don't have a lot of queer artists out there representing us that's on the mainstream like that. Not many. I do listen to a lot of underground ones, but we don't have a lot of big mainstream ones. Like outside of him, I guess you could say Sam Smith. He's not really from our community, but I still love the nigga. Outside of them two, we got Saucy Santana. Saucy makes some songs I fuck with, but I don't always rock with Saucy Santana music. His music could be a little bit too repetitive in the ratchet sense, but it's cute. I love it. I love Saucy Santana, but I don't always listen to all his music. I don't listen to all his songs. But yeah, we need more artists in that space. The more the merrier. I want all the types. I want ratchet. I want thug. I want this. I want everything. I want everything. If I can get as many gay artists as possible, I will love it. Gives me more of a plethora of things I can listen to. That brings me to my next question, which, of course, I really want to know. What's up with the bottom shaming? Why do bottoms bottom shame other bottoms? Is there like a hierarchy of bottoming? Is there like with femininity and masculinity, is there levels to it? Is it to the point where it's like, oh, I could be a bottom, but I ain't no power bottom? Like, I may say stuff like that sometimes because I'm not a power bottom. But my identity of a power bottom is strictly in the bedroom. I don't think of it outside of that. I don't think of that outside of that or whatever. When I think of a power bottom, I think of somebody that just likes being. They take over the dick. You know what I mean? They take over it. It becomes theirs, and they own it in that moment, and they love what they're doing, and they're passionate about it. That's a power bottom. I am not that because I go off my mood. Dick don't really make me happy. It be the person that do it for me. So depending on who is attached to it, may not really do nothing for me. So that's how I end up in the versatile field, because I'm so open with what I like. I just open it all. If I like you and I feel good by you, and I feel like I like our connection, the energy between us, when I'm next to you and when you're next to me, I'm turned on just by your presence. If you could whisper in my ear, if I could whisper in your ear, if you could kiss me here, touch me there, and that takes me somewhere, baby, I don't give a fuck what position or what you want to do. We gonna do it, because I'm down for all of it. So I don't go into it like that. I used to, but I don't go into it like that no more when I'm dating somebody. When it comes to bottom shaming, I never look down on nobody as a bottom. Now, I will call you out if you walk around here like you don't bottom, like there's something wrong with it. And I know I've seen you get topped. I know I've done it. Or I know you be getting topped. That's one thing. But some of these girls are so ashamed of being a bottom. It's the craziest thing. I think 90% of us have bottom. I don't think there's that many gays out here that have never bottom. I just don't think it is. I think whether you try it or not, you don't know until you try it. So I'm not going to knock it. You won't know until you try it. Most guys have tried it. They either don't like it or they do like it. That's just all it comes down to. Bottom and top is supposed to be about what you like. It ain't supposed to be about what you think people are supposed to agree with. It ain't supposed to be about what people expect of you or want from you. It's what you like. If you like feeling like this, or if you like feeling like that, that's just basically what it is. And I don't see it as a big discussion as it needs to be, but people use it to weaponize against people. Some people use it as a way to make people feel less than. Like, oh, you just a bottom. Oh, you just a bottom. Or basically, I heard, he be twerking. I heard he a bottom. Or, ooh, what you gonna do with that bottom? And that bottom, da, 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 da. You get labeled as a bottom, and it's a bad thing because it's the whole toxic masculinity thing, about with the whole male identifying thing, with heteronormative things, basically. People have a way of comparing a gay relationship to a straight relationship. So if you're a bottom, you're basically the bitch in a relationship, and they see you as the bitch in a relationship. So therefore, they judge you accordingly as if you are a bitch in a relationship, which means you're less than. Yeah, I don't view my relationships that way. I don't view straight relationships that way either, but I definitely don't view mine that way. I don't see it as one's the bitch and one's the man, or whatever the case may be. Which brings me to my next topic, bottom for bottom. Why is there a misconception, or why is there so many stereotypes surrounding being a bottom or a top, that when people find out someone's in a relationship, they automatically go and say, aren't y'all two bottoms? Now, a lot of people may not get that, but for some reason, I've dated a lot of bottoms, apparently. Unbeknownst to me, because they was tearing me up, breaking down my walls. So I didn't think they were bottoms. I thought they were versatile like I was. But every time I pop out with somebody, and if they may be a little bit too feminine, or a little bit too sweet around maybe a little bit too sweet, maybe a little too zesty, people be like, how y'all gonna work? Y'all both two bottoms. And I always have to correct them, like, that nigga ain't no bottom. The way that nigga, me, he ain't no bottom. The way I ain't no bottom. Come on now, let's not do that. Like, don't play stupid. Just because that person bottom for you, or just because you heard that person bottom for somebody else, doesn't mean they don't use their other equipment. And sometimes the people be very well equipped, and I be with it. Like, I'm not gonna knock it. Like, I like to call it bumping purses. because I've had some of my best experiences with other feminine men that some may portray as, or some may assume is a full bottom, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is, but I've had some of the best times with them. They know what to do with it. They know what I like. They know what they like. And I'm a munch. I love, I love you my mouth. You know what I mean? So I like to eat it and stuff like that. So I be perfect for a lot of people like that. So I get along well with them. I do great. Me and the bottoms, we do great. I'm gonna be versatile, but I've had some of my best sessions with another bottom. I really have. So I never knock bumping purses. I never knock it. You know, they have toys for people that like those things. I don't partake in the toy world. I don't use those type. I use other type. I don't use the kind where there's double sided and stuff like that. I don't do that because, as I was saying earlier, the penetration ain't what does it for me. What does it for me is the interaction between me and the person, the chemistry, the energy, and the feeling, the whatever I'm getting from that physical interaction. That is what's feeding me, not the dick. That's not what's feeding me. It's the person attached to the dick. It's a difference. With some people, they're so fixated on these stupid ass stereotypes that they sit here and they fixate on what they think a bottom looks like and what they think a bottom shouldn't look like. I kid you not. I had an ex-boyfriend. What am I going to call him? Because I'm not going to call him by his name. Everybody know who he is. Let me see. What can I call him? Rochester. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him Rochester. I was dating a guy. Me and Rochester was dating for a while. We was together for a while, but in this part of the story, we was only dating for a little bit. The amount of people rant to me and tell me after they found out we was dating, the first thing they would say to me is, "How y'all gonna work? You know you're a bottom, right?" And I would always be sitting there like, okay, is that supposed to scare me? Is that like a bad thing? If he was a bottom, he doesn't just bottom for me, but apparently you're telling me this because it's something I should be alarmed by. And even if he was, hey, guess what? I'm versatile. So him being the bottom wouldn't be much of an issue for me. I can see why it's an issue for you because you're also a bottom. But for me, that's not a concern. So I would always have to let them know, like, he not a bottom. The way we have sex, he can't be a bottom. He can't be a full bottom. No, baby. He knows what he's doing. So he's not a bottom. But that wasn't the only time that has happened. Just recently when I was dating or talking to the alcoholic, he was sitting up there. Not him. He didn't do anything. But the alcoholic, when I was started talking to the alcoholic, I posted a picture of him from New Year's. Okay, I posted a picture of me and the alcoholic. And all the girls came running. How y'all have sex? Y'all two bottoms. What y'all doing together? Y'all two bottoms. You know he a bottom. He a bottom. That's a bottom. There go a bottom. Everywhere a bottom. It was just everybody freaking out about bottoms in my DMs and in his DMs. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? One, why are you so invested? I've never looked at two people dating and said, oh my God, who does who? Why would I care? Am I finna link up with them? Am I finna become a third? Then I don't care what's going on. It ain't gonna concern me. That's dumb. Like, I don't care about that type of stuff. I know I could care, but why would I? I'm not invested in it. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect my life in no way, shape, or form at all. It does not affect me. So there's no reason whatsoever I should be invested in somebody else's sexuality or what they're doing with their partner or what position they may hold. Like, and I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit more freaked out than normal people, or because, I'm a little bit more open-minded to things and I'm versatile. So maybe this all plays a role, but it keeps me from pigeonholing myself, and it keeps me from like putting myself in a corner to where I have to date a certain way and fuck a certain way, because if I don't, I'm stepping out of line. I don't stick to the status quo. When it comes down to it, I do what makes me happy. So if I'm going to date another bottom per se, quote unquote bottom, then so be it. You don't know what's going on in this bedroom. Clearly, this person is doing something for me. I'm not a full bottom. If I was, and I was dating another bottom, trust me, somebody's topping. Understand that. It wouldn't make sense. Y'all need to stay out of people's business and stop trying to figure out how the clock works. Trying to figure out. Y'all want to know how the sausage is built. No pun intended. That's what y'all want to know. Y'all want to know how the hot dog was made. So y'all trying to understand how to attract the people who you deem as bottoms. How are they making it work? They are. That's how. They are. There's many ways it can happen. Even if they wasn't willing to use their dick on each other, even if they wasn't willing to top each other, guess what? They may be willing to use a toy. They may be willing to have a third. Ever thought of that? Or maybe sex ain't why they're together. Maybe that wasn't a component of what's important to them. I understand that's important to some of you girls. Like, some of you girls can't handle that. Y'all even know y'all top in the club twerking, y'all lose y'all mind. Y'all don't want to know y'all top is getting topped by somebody else. But like I've said in the beginning, I do believe 90% of people have been topped. So what is the big deal? What's the big deal? I love booty anyways. So I ain't complaining. I love a dude that's comfortable with it. If you comfortable with bottoming, oh yeah, I'm going to love this. We're going to have a ball. We are going to have a ball. Because I am going to do things to your body. And we are going to like it. I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to happen. We're going to go at it. We're going to do things. I'm going to have fun. Yeah. I like when I'm with somebody comfortable with themselves. So I will date more people that are more leaning to versatile. I will date people that are more open-minded so we can not have that issue. I've ran into people that are like, I'm a pure top and you have to behave like this to be my bottom bitch. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. Hey, newsflash, that's not me. I'm not doing that. And I have dated dudes that was like, I want you to behave like this when you're with me. And I'm not doing that. I'm not worried about no stupid stereotypes. I'm not worried about what we're supposed to be doing in the bedroom. When we're in the bedroom, based on our chemistry, our vibe, and our connection, we will naturally make the decision what we're going to do. We don't need to instruct it. We don't need to direct it. We don't have to put nobody in a role, no position. I like it when we flip-flop. I like it when we do it all. We don't have to stay in no box. When it comes to me, I don't do boxes, baby. I don't do boxes. We have to jump outside that box. We have to do other stuff and get nasty, and I'm just freaked out. That's just what it comes down to. Maybe that's why I don't understand why people is confused about these stereotypes and stuff, because maybe I'm the problem. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Honestly, I think it just comes down to comfortability with yourself and comfortability with what you want, being aware of what you want, and knowing how to get it and keep it. I think that's all it comes down to. And if you want somebody who is more masculine, you do have to be willing to be more submissive. And if you want somebody more on the same playing lift as you, you can get that as well. I just don't think you should get too wrapped up in positions. I don't think you should get too wrapped up into stereotypes, and you should be open-minded. Is it okay to lean towards something? Is it okay to be more attracted to something? Is it okay to be to prefer something else? Yes. But you still have to be open-minded. You might meet somebody that you perceive as a bottom because of how they portray themselves, and they may give you the best dick you've ever had. Trust me, I'm not lying when I say it's possible. I've had some of the best from some bottoms. And that's, some that you guys would call bottoms. So I just say don't knock it till to your tribe. And for those who keep calling me a bottom and saying how I keep dating bottoms or whatever the case may be, just because I don't use my dick on you doesn't mean it don't get used on somebody else. Don't play with me. Play with yourself. Yeah, so in that case, I guess I like bumping purses. Pretty much everybody I've ever topped who was also a verse was a great experience. Okay, not everybody, but mostly was a great experience because they're verse. So whatever mind state I have, they may have the same one, or our vibe is going to mesh well. So what we do in the bedroom is going to mesh well. Like, no tea, no shade. Like, I've had my best sessions with other verse who are willing to flip and flop, who don't live by labels, and we're able to be ourselves in the bedroom and do what we want to do. Not caring about who's the most masc, who's the most femme. We going off vibes, and our vibes is telling us to do what we finna do. And I think that's what most people need to follow. Go off your vibe. Go off what you want to do and do it. I don't understand why that's a complicating concept, but that's what people should do. And that's what I do when I link up with people. And that's what I do when I date people. I go off of their vibe and I be myself. I don't try to be anything else. So if that means I'm perceived as a bottom bumping with another bottom, then hell yeah, we are. And I bet you want us both to bust you down. And that's why you really worried, right? You worried because you think that means you can't top them, or you worried because that means you can't be topped by them. Think about it, because I don't concern myself with positions in other people's relationships and pairings unless I plan on joining. And if I don't plan on joining, it's none of my concern. So basically, to sum it all up, there's nothing wrong with being a bottom. There's nothing wrong with being a top. There's nothing wrong with being masculine, and there's nothing wrong with you being feminine. There's nothing wrong with you identifying as all of it or seeing yourself somewhere in between. Just be you. Find somebody like you for you and accept them for them and go from there. And as long as they can do what they got to do in the bedroom, I don't give a fuck about a title or a label. Because at the end of the day, that title and that label ain't what's making me come. And I think that's what all that matters. As long as you come, I think that's the main objective here. So as long as we all get to the same place, I don't care about the journey. Well, let me not lie. I don't care in that sense, but I do care about the journey because I want this to be a pleasure ride. I don't want this to be a painful ride or a terrible experience. I want this to be very relaxing and full of bliss. And on that note, I did enjoy myself talking to you today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And if you did, come back next Wednesday. Every Wednesday after that. Tune in to what I got to say. And yeah, just keep linking with Robbie.